Right, it is about the animal tiger. It is about the poet talking to the animal. The poet William Blake was the embodiment of the romantic vision. To him, imagination and the sensations of the heart were the sole guides to the truth. According to him, only imagination and sensation can restore the unity of the spirit, which the predominance of reason had destroyed. He, as a true romantic poet, rejects scientific thoughts and cold logical arguments. His works have a touch of childhood innocence and spontaneous liberty. He tends to express his work based on spiritualism. In his collection of poems, Songs of Innocence, he portrays God, the creator of nature, as a innocent, benevolent God, as it is found in the poem The Lamb. Now, why am I talking about the poem The Lamb or Songs of Innocence when we are supposed to be talking about the tiger? It is because Songs of Experience, which comes quite after Songs of Innocence, is a contrasting portrayal of the creator of nature. In Songs of Experience, William Blake portrays the God or the creator of nature or nature itself as a fierce and aggressive one, as we will find in the poem The Tyger, which is supposed to be the opposite of his poem The Lamb. In The Tyger, the poet presents the conflicting aspects of a tiger that can look so beautiful and majestic and also cruel and frightening at the same time. He conveys how nature can be both beautiful and scary. In the first stanza, the poet asks the tiger, wondering who had the courage and the skill to create him. The second stanza talks about how he wonders where did the creator get the inspiration to create a beast as fierce as the tiger. The third stanza portrays the creator using the imagery of a surgeon or a doctor. Coming to the fourth stanza, it portrays the creator using the imagery of a blacksmith. In the fifth stanza, the poet uses natural imagery of the night, like the stars and the meteor showers, or the falling of the stars, to explain the reaction of other creatures after God created the tiger, or even the reaction of God. The last stanza is a repetition of the first stanza, emphasizing the dual contrasting sides of nature, the calm and serene side as well as the destructive side of nature. The poet wonders at the appearance of the tiger, how it stands brightly and brilliantly in the forest at night. He wonders at the immortal God who created the frightening symmetry of a tiger. In the first stanza, the speaker wonders and addresses the tiger that seemed to be burning brightly in the forest of the night. Throughout the poem, we find that the poet William Blake compares the beauty of the tiger in the shade or in the background of the night, because he depicts the darker side of nature, the darker personality of the creator. The tiger seems to be burning in the forest of the night in its yellowish, orangey color, like the color of the flames of the fire in the dark night. He questions what being could picture or imagine such a frightening figure. The second stanza talks about the piercing eyes of the tiger, its vision, how deep and how sharp. He wonders how the creator dared to aspire and catch a fire of inspiration to bring about a beast like the tiger. The third stanza speaks of the strength of the creator as a surgeon or a doctor to form the heart and the nerves of the tiger to make it come to life, and the fearful, fierceful hand and feet to control over a creature like the tiger. The fourth stanza contains his imagination of the creator working like a blacksmith to make and shape the tiger using his tools like the chains, anvil, and hammer in a furnace with deadly strength. In the fifth stanza, the poet asks the tiger if the stars threw their spears and the stars burst into tears like the meteors and the bursting of the stars in the night sky, like fireworks in the clear night. He asked whether the stars reacted that way when the creator finally completed his task of making the tiger. He wonders if the same creator who made the innocent, quiet lamb made the fierce-looking tiger too. and he wonders if the creator was pleased to see what he had made. In the final stanza, the poet uses repetition of the first stanza and asks how the creator dared to build such a fearful and terrifying yet intriguing symmetry or design of the tiger. In this poem, the tiger metaphorically represents the darker side of nature. If nature can be calm and patient, it can also be harsh and ferocious and dangerous. It can be beautiful and enchanting and still be destructive like the tiger. The poetic devices used in this poem are rhetorical questions, personification, alliteration, apostrophe, symbolism, imagery, and so on. But the first thing, let's discuss about the rhetorical question. There is a number of rhetorical questions. In fact, every stanza has rhetorical questions. These questions are used to stress on the fact that the wonderful design and nature of the tiger is unimaginable, unfathomable. Personification is used to personify the stars of the night as though they were throwing their spears in the clear night. And we know that stars are not persons that can throw spears, but here the poet represents stars as person who are throwing their spears out of excitement. He also mentions as though the stars shed their tears, and we know only persons can shed tears. So in this case also, the stars were personified. We also find a number of alliterations used in this poem, like tiger, tiger, burning bright, distant, deep, what wings frame thy fearful, and etc. This poem is an example of apostrophe, because throughout the poem, the poet seems to be talking to the tiger, which we know is insane, because it is logically just impossible for a person to be talking to a tiger or communicating to a tiger in the way William Blake wrote in his poem. Symbolism. The tiger symbolizes night, fire, danger, while the lamb symbolizes day, innocence, and sweetness. As we discussed earlier, the poet also uses imagery of a working surgeon or doctor and also a blacksmith. A doctor or a surgeon is used as imagery to describe the creator of the tiger, because the creator seems to be working with the heart and trying to bring it to life, working with its sinews and its hands and feet. Only a surgeon would deal with that, like in an operation theater. Also, in the next stanza, the poet explains the work of the creator while making the tiger in the imagery of a blacksmith using chains, anvil, and hammer and other tools. As we read through the stanza, we find that the poet is trying to create the imagery of a blacksmith working in his workplace. That is how William Blake uses imagery to skillfully present the creation of the tiger. And that was a short discussion of the Tiger by William Blake. I hope it was helpful, and thank you. I'll see you in the next video.